Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 585. I am Amish Cycle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
David Muir, AC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news: an American F-35 stealth fighter believed hit by enemy fire. The war in Iran, and tonight's sources telling ABC News that U.S. Air Force F-35 was on a combat mission over Iran when it was hit, potentially by hostile fire. The emergency landing, the pilot's condition tonight. It comes as Iran escalates attacks targeting oil and gas facilities across the Middle East. Gas prices in the U.S. now up 97 cents a gallon. Amid the global oil shock, Israel hitting Iran, the largest gas field in the world. Tonight, President Trump now saying he didn't know Israel was going to do that. We'll go live to James Longman. Also tonight, the Pentagon now preparing to ask Congress for $200 billion more to keep funding the war in Iran. Already saying the first week cost $11 billion alone, more than $1 billion a day. Some lawmakers asking tonight if the president says this is going to end soon. Why are they asking for $200 billion more from taxpayers? And the moment today, the president and Japan's prime minister. The president is asked why he didn't tell U.S. allies before attacking Iran. He jokingly brings up Pearl Harbor. The other news tonight, the alarming close call at Newark Airport, a near collision between a passenger jet and a FedEx cargo plane. The passenger jet, just 150 feet off the ground, told to pull up and go around. The new images tonight, the lines growing longer at airports across the U.S. Thousands of TSA officers not getting paid, many not coming to work. Workers and passengers tonight now asking why Republicans and Democrats aren't solving this and paying the workers. A heartbreaking discovery tonight in the search for a missing American college student who disappeared on spring break. Tonight, the disturbing abuse allegations against labor rights leader Cesar Chavez, the woman who was at his side for decades, breaking her silence to John Quinones. Tonight, dramatic testimony in the trial of a doctor and husband accused of trying to kill his wife high up on a hiking trail. Prosecutors say he tried to push her, hit her in the head with a rock, and tried to inject her with a syringe. The scare for a New York State trooper tonight. Late today, reports of a shark attack off the U.S. coast. Beaches closed tonight. Harrowing moments. A mayor suffered a medical emergency during a town hall event and dying. And America strong tonight. The young hockey star from tragedy to champion right here.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with
interrupted on whether American troops would be deployed into Iran while speaking next to in the Middle East. CENTCOM says an American F-35 jet made an emergency landing at a regional airbase after flying a combat mission in Iran. The aircraft landed safely. The pilot said to be in stable condition. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. Busy Thursday afternoon already, Sandra. It's only an hour old.
All right, let's kick things off. I'm Sandra Smith, and you, John, tap earlier this week, helping President moments ago.
But now they're getting nicer because they're seeing my attitude. They're getting much nicer.
All right, let's get straight to our chief foreign correspondent, Trey Yingst. He's reporting live from Tel Aviv at this hour. Hello, Trey.
Sandra, good afternoon. We start with some breaking news this evening in Israel. An Iranistic missile trapped from that missile the Bazan oil refinery. This is Israel's largest refinery, and it accounts for more than 50% of the country's gasoline and diesel energy infrastructure of the Middle East after Israeli airstrikes targeted Iran's South Pars gas field yesterday. This immediately drew a response from the Iranian regime, who went after more Gulf oil facilities and gas fields. Result of this attack, it could take up to 5 years, according to reports. Damage caused Israel saying, quote, Israel, out of anger for what has taken place, and violently lashed major Pars gas field in Iran. The Israelis rejected that characteristic. The president was asked about it in the Oval Office, saying this.
We talked to
Thursday night, Iran attacks its Gulf neighbors, hitting energy facilities. The effect on oil and gas prices and the amplifying calls to end the war. Potential divisions between Israel and the U.S.
I told them, don't do that.
Israel acted alone.
And what Donald Trump said about Pearl Harbor as he sat beside Japan's prime minister. Unprecedented why a Quebec court is blocking a man and his son from donating any more sperm.
How many children do you think you have?
Plus, the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada is back in the news. What's happened to the criminal charges against her?
Global National with Donna Friesen.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The consequences of the war Israel and the U.S. started in the Middle East continue to spiral. Critical oil and gas sites in the region have been attacked and seriously damaged, and the pain of higher gas prices is being felt around the world. In the past 2 days, Israel attacked Iran's South Pars natural gas field, the largest in the world, which Iran shares with Qatar. Iran hit back at its Gulf neighbors, targeting Qatar's Ras Laffan plant. It's a critical hub for liquefied natural gas exports. The price of oil has spiked again. It hit $120 US a barrel at one point today before settling lower. Canada, along with the UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, have put out a statement today saying they are ready to contribute to appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. It is unclear exactly what that means. Our coverage begins with Redmond Shannon.
2 airstrikes on either side of the world's largest natural gas field in Iran and Qatar. They threaten to propel this war toward a new escalation. Qatar's prime minister demanded the war stop now, but says he reserves the right to respond. Qatar Energy says the damage means its gas exports, which mostly go to Asia, could be reduced by 1/6 for up to 5 years. Iran's foreign minister and US President Donald Trump traded threats against future strikes, and as expected, gas and oil prices shot up again.
Sky News, they cannot be expected to show restraint until the US and Israel stop their military campaign.
Do you think it would be really realistic to offer olive branch to those who want to behead you?
Meanwhile, Donald Trump says his military operation is ahead of schedule, and Benjamin Netanyahu claims Iran is weaker than ever.
I thought it would be worse. Much worse, actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, and it's going to be over with pretty soon.
When you submitted, Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed.
Back in the UK, more students in Kent are offered the meningitis B vaccine. The number of cases to the outbreak rises. And our home editor heads out with Bobby's on the beat as an exclusive poll for Sky News examines what officers, victims and the public think about the state of UK policing. There are growing fears that the war in Iran is turning into a full-blown global energy crisis. Oil and natural gas prices are soaring after back-and-forth attacks on energy infrastructure in the Gulf. Currently, there is no end in sight, with US President Donald Trump saying he thought the economic impact would be worse. We'll have more from Washington in a moment, but first, our international affairs editor Dominic Waghorn.
Share and grow belonging in your community. Visit neighbourseveryday.org.
Today, severe tropical cyclone Narelle makes landfall on Cape York Peninsula in far north Queensland, with heavy rain and destructive winds up to 250 kilometres an hour.
The damage is likely to be significant with a system of this size.
11 emergency warnings are currently in place for people to take shelter now. Israel's Prime Minister confirms Israel acted alone in striking Iran's South Pars natural gas field. And it's the final day of campaigning in South Australia's state election, with candidates delivering their last bit of voters. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ross Charles. Severe tropical cyclone Narelle has made landfall on the Cape York Peninsula in far north Queensland as a high-end Category 4 system. Heavy rain is being recorded as far south as Cairns, with destructive winds of more than 220 kilometres per hour at the centre of the storm. In the last half hour, the cyclone has been downgraded to Category 3, but 11 emergency warnings remain.
Africa News. The news.
Nigeria's defense chiefs were in Maiduguri on Wednesday after one of the deadliest attacks in the Borno state capital in years. Directed by President Bola Tinubu to address escalating terrorism in the region. At least 20 people died and 108 others injured in a bombing on Monday. Military's militant group Haram.
First, end this act of terrorism. The people of Borno State and Yobe State must take ownership of this problem, because the bulk of the people perpetrating these heinous acts are from these states. They are our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, and we know that.
Fighters from Boko Haram and rival jihadist group Islamic State West Africa province have recently stepped up attacks in northeastern Nigeria. More than 40,000 people have died and 2 million others have been displaced in their 17-year campaign to establish a caliphate in the country.
These people are complicit. So for us to bring an end, our people must resolve that this has to come to an end. And we must take ownership of this problem.
While Oluyede pledged that this will not repeat itself in the future, analysts say Nigerian forces are stretched, then they're also returning to southeast, armed banditry in the northwest, and farmer-herder conflict in the central states.
The rising cost of fuel is beginning to be felt in Morocco due to the ongoing fighting in the Middle East that has led to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. In the streets of Rabat, the Moroccan capital, in nearby areas, residents react to the surge in fuel prices, saying they now have to pay more for gas, which has directly impacted the cost of goods and services in the North African country. We are affected, but customers should not have to suffer because of it. As professional drivers, we are the first to feel the consequences. Fuel prices have risen by about 2 dirhams, even 2.5 dirhams at some stations. That pushes our daily fuel bill from around 120 to 130 dirhams for a full tank. It's strange that the price of fuel has reached such a level. We never imagined it will get this high. Today, it feels like we are working for free. Diesel and gasoline have each gone up by 25 dirhams per litre this week after some distributors began applying new rates, putting additional pressure on the drivers and transport operators. What can I say? The rising cost of living has had a huge impact. But there is nothing we can do. The current war is caused, and we can't change that.
This is Asia Now.
It's 11 a.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 8:30 in New Delhi, and 10 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Keith Liu. At this hour, global markets rattled as Iran hits Gulf oil and gas sites in retaliation for Israeli strikes on its gas infrastructure. Israel says it acted alone in that attack. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi avoids a clash with Donald Trump over Iran during talks in Washington, but the U.S. president steered into controversy by likening the U.S. attack on Iran to Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor.
Well, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
K-pop megastars BTS to release a new album today as excitement builds ahead of their comeback concert in Seoul, with their return expected to generate up to $1 billion and lift the wider K-pop industry. Iran has warned it would show zero restraint if energy sites are hit again. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi threatened its Gulf neighbors, saying his country has only used a small amount of firepower so far. Tehran has stepped up retaliatory attacks after its largest gas field, South Pars, came under Israeli fire. It has targeted crucial refineries in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, as well as the world's largest.
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. Iran has fired multiple rounds of missiles towards Israel, just hours after Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared the Islamic Republic has been decimated by war. Israeli emergency services have not reported any casualties. Netanyahu also outlined Israel's objectives for the war: annihilation of Iran's nuclear and missile programs, and to create the conditions for Iranians to, quote, take fate into their own hands. U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard furthered rumors about a split between Israeli and U.S. goals in Iran. She told a House committee that the objectives laid out by the president were different from those outlined by Israel. She said Israel was focused on taking out Iran's leadership, while the U.S. objective was to destroy Tehran's military capabilities. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz accuses Hungary's Viktor Orban of disloyalty for blocking a crucial loan for Ukraine on Thursday. At a summit in Brussels, Orban upheld his veto for the €19 billion package. Budapest accuses Kiev of blocking oil deliveries to Hungary by not repairing a pipeline. Ukraine's President Zelensky says his country is counting on the loan.
TV series. Arts 24 on France 24 and France24.com.
Welcome back to Night Watch here on France 24. Our main stories for you this hour. EU leaders failed to reach an agreement on a major aid package for Ukraine as Hungary maintains its veto on a proposed €90 billion loan. It comes as Ukraine has warned it could soon have no money left to fund the government and to defend against Russia's invasion. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel acted alone when it carried out strikes on Iran's South Pars gas field, which sparked a sharp escalation, Iran hitting back at multiple energy sites across the Gulf. The Israeli Prime Minister said he'd pause future attacks on the site after a warning from the US president. And Tehran puts on a huge welcome ceremony for its women's football team as hundreds came out with flags and chants of heroes. Two players remain in Australia, where they participated in the Asian Cup and refused to sing the national anthem in their opening match. Initially,
Thank you for watching. I'm Shakil 5858. I hope you will come again. Have a good life. Bye bye.